Hey, what's going on, everybody? I've been having a little sweet tooth lately, so instead of going out and buying all that, I decided, you know what? Let's make some donuts, because donuts are my favorite, and I love my sweets. But today I'm gonna do something a little different. I'm gonna do a little bit of a Filipino-esque type of donut, ube with some espresso chocolate. So, let's get going. Oh, man, that is money. First thing we got to get going, we got to get these babies going. So here we're going to take a cup of milk, and then we're going to go and put some salt and a little bit of sugar. Here I used a teaspoon of sugar and then a packet or 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast, and we're going to go and mix that up and let that sit for about 10 to 15 minutes until it gets foamy. While we're waiting up, we're going to get all of our dry ingredients set up here. We're going to use 350 grams of flour. I'm using AP flour here. Then we're going to use 75 grams of sugar. And then we're going to do a tablespoon of salt. Now that we got all that measured out, we're going to go and give that a good mix up, get everything incorporated. After that, we're going to go and get our yolks ready here. For this recipe, you're going to need 6 yolks. So I found it easy just to crack them all into a bowl and then use your hand to take them out. It's easier and less chance for you to actually break the yolk. If you don't want to do that, if you don't want to get egg on your hands, no problem. Use the eggshell method, and then we'll get it going. We're going to put those right into the flour. By now, our yeast should be ready by now. So you can go and take those yolks, and then you're going to pretty much just pour your yeast and milk mixture into there, and we're going to give that a good mix up. This is a very wet dough, so don't be afraid. But if it is way too wet like mine was, go ahead and don't be afraid to add some more flour until it gets a little bit more sticky. There's not as much tacky here. I used about a 1/4 cup at a time, and then started mixing it until I got a consistency that I wanted. Here's just the consistency that I wanted for us to start kneading. Not too sticky, but still some. It needs to be kneaded for it to actually smooth out a little bit. We're gonna knead this for no more and no less than 10 minutes. Go ahead and actually set a timer if you need to. But after this little arm workout and it starts to smooth out, we're gonna take a bowl and oil it, and then we're gonna let it sit for about an hour and a half till it doubles in size. This is the texture we're looking for right here. So we're going to take a bowl and put it in there, but we're going to put some oil in there first. Want to kind of rub it around. Just going to keep the dough from actually drying out. We're going to set this to the side for about an hour or two. If you are in, I'm in Virginia, so it's getting pretty cold. So just a pro tip, when you're kneading it out, turn your oven on to about 200 or to warm, and then right before you take the dough and put it in there, go ahead and turn it off and put it in there. Just going to keep it a nice little warm in there, so it gives it time for the dough to actually stay warm and relax. And now that our little baby has risen and gotten bigger, I'm gonna go and roll this out. You're gonna actually not kind of press this out or hit the air out. What you're gonna do is gently caress it. You know what I mean? Treat it like treat your woman. Be gentle with it. So you're gonna pretty much roll this out until about half an inch. You don't want to go any thinner because the donut's gonna be a little bit flatter than you want. You want some actual bread in there. So after we got this, you're gonna use a donut cutter. If you don't have a donut cutter, go ahead and use a cup will work just as good. You just gotta make sure you press down in there. you want to go ahead and take a pan or a sheet pan pretty much and well flour it, because the yeast might stick and you don't want these to stick, because we're going to let these rest for one more time for about 15 minutes. So as you cut them, as you're done cutting it, go ahead and put them onto the pan. Do the same thing you did before as the dough prior. You're gonna go and put them in the oven and let them rest. So while you rest, we're gonna do the fillings for these donuts. So here you're gonna take a cup of milk and we're gonna warm it up right before it boiling. Then we're gonna take about 80 grams of sugar and then 30 grams of cornstarch. Then we're gonna take 1 egg and then 3 egg yolks. Once we get the egg yolks and the egg separated and put into a bowl, we're gonna mix all these together, and we're gonna mix it up until we get a nice creamy and smooth texture. This is gonna be for the actual pate that we're gonna use for the filling itself. This is what we're looking for right here, a nice velvety texture. Now our milk should be ready and warm. We're gonna do, it's called tempering. So this is gonna pretty much keep your eggs from scrambling and then turn it into an actual scrambled egg. So we're gonna do a little bit at a time, give it a good mix. We're gonna add a little bit more, then we're gonna add a little bit more until about half or 3/4 of the way, and you can be a little bit more aggressive with the pouring. Here, as you can see, I pretty much poured the rest of it in there once I got it nice and tempered. Now that we got all the milk in there, we're gonna go and pour this back into the pot, and we're gonna go and heat this up and mix it up until it gets a nice thick consistency, you know, like a cream. You know, when you eat into a donut or bite into a cream filled donut, this is what we're looking for. Here I'm doing a Ube cream filled donut. So here I'm using some Ube extract. If you guys want to know which one I'm using, I'll put a link down in the bio which one I'm using. But here you're gonna give that a good mix up. I used a little bit extra because I like that nice purple color that I got from it, and you know, who doesn't love Ube? So we're gonna give that a good mix up, and then we're gonna keep mixing and warm through until it gets that thick consistency that I'm looking for, because you know, I like it thick. You know, I like my women thick. So go ahead and keep mixing. I'll catch you back when we got it the consistency that I want. This is what we're looking for right here. So we're gonna go and pour this into a bowl, and we're gonna put some saran wrap over the top. This is going to keep a skin from forming over, and we're going to let that cool for 2 hours or until it's completely cool. While we're waiting on that to cool, we're going to go ahead and start heating up our oil. Here you want it about 350. You would go up to 365 if you want. It depends, you know, how fast you want to cook your donuts. Then we're going to do pretty much, you should float like this. If they don't float, then you got some problems. We're gonna cook these for about 45 seconds to a minute on each side, or until you get that nice golden brown texture. This is what we're looking for right here, color-wise and size-wise. You know, you want them nice and pillowy, you know. You got to keep them like that. So pretty much you're going to go through and cook all these the same way. So go ahead and I'll catch you back when we're done. Now that we got all of them done here, for our topping, went ahead and took some graham crackers and broke them up into a nice crumble. So now that you got all your donuts done, you gotta let these cool for a while. And after they're all the way cooled down, we're gonna stuff these. So what I did, I have some chopsticks. If you don't have chopstick, you can use a knife, or you know, if you have a temperature thermometer, you can do the same thing. Here I put them and poked a little hole in them and then moved some of the bread around, so it made it easier, and you can get a nice actual cream filling in there. You know, you want it enough in there, but you don't want too much in there. So yeah. Now that our donuts have the hole and everything, we're gonna go and actually put our cream into our piping bag. So here I used a little plastic cup that I have. If you have a glass, that's fine. Just make sure it's big enough to do that. And we're gonna go and pretty much just put our filling into the actual piping bag itself here. This is a mango float one. If you guys are curious about that, I can go ahead and make a video on that next. Then we're gonna go and pretty much put the rest in there. Now we're ready to fill these babies up. So here, you're gonna be able to feel the heaviness of the donuts. So try to keep it as consistent as possible. You know, you don't want to put too much cream in there, and you don't want, you know, a very little cream in there. So just fill it out. For this is going to be another topping over the top. Here I heated some heavy cream. These are espresso chocolate chips. You know, I really love these type of chips, and they barely sell them. I found them at Walmart, and I pretty much bought the whole box. I really love them. So here you're going to take some of that heavy cream that you heated up, and we're going to pour a little bit at a time and mix that chocolate up. You want to get that chocolate nice and velvety, so when we go ahead and put them over the top, you get a nice clean and shiny texture. Pretty much wraps up the video, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed this, and hopefully this helps you out, you know, so you don't have to be going to Krispy Kreme or Dunkin' Donuts. You can just go ahead and make them yourself. You know, these might take a little bit to make, but it's totally worth it at the end of the day. Everybody will love them. So, you know, hopefully you guys are staying safe out there, and I hope to catch you guys next time, and I hope you guys have an awesome day. Peace.